Hello and welcome to Black Coffee Talks. I'm your host, Rodney Court. Today we've got a groundbreaking episode. Black Coffee Talks was originally designed for black men to get together and discuss issues of the world. But hey, I couldn't leave the sisters out. So today we have a history-making event. I've got some ladies in here today and we're going to talk about black women entrepreneurs. Statistics say that black women are the fastest growing demographic among business owners today. Why is that? Are there challenges? Are there rewards? Why did these particular women want to step out into the business world as owners? We're going to talk about it and have some bold, dark, and unsweetened dialogue on this episode of Black Coffee Talks. This is Black Coffee Talks, where black men get together to discuss, debate, even argue about relevant topics of the day from a black man's perspective. Whether it's relationships, sports, politics, religion, nothing is off limits, nothing is out of bounds. So put your big boy pants on, grab you a cup of coffee, and let's get into some bold, dark, but unsweetened dialogue. This is Black Coffee Talks with your host, Rodney Court. Let's get it. Welcome back to Black Coffee Talks. Again, I'm Rodney Cork, your host there. Today, I've got a panel of some great women that are all business owners, all business women, and we're going to talk about black women entrepreneurs today. Ladies, thank you all for coming on to the show today. I really appreciate you. Let's start from the other side. I want you to introduce yourself and tell the audience what you do. So we'll start with Carrie.
Hi, I'm Carrie Harris, and I am an educational advocate here in the city of Indianapolis. And I am here today actually to listen to these wonderful women in their business and then to tell you about me and what I'm doing. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Taylor. I own a local State Farm agency located at 5174 Allisonville Road. I am here today to talk about my experience as well as learn and listen to the other ladies on the panel as well.
Hello, my name is Montavia Rowley, and I am the owner of 2 Cups a Day Cafe, which we're here in front of. I am privileged to be here with you guys. Coming from a younger generation, I'm excited to learn more about both of you guys, your perspective, and how I can also grow as a business owner myself.
Well, ladies, thank you for coming in today. Let's get into some bold, dark, but unsweetened dialogue. All of you in the business world today, I just told you the statistics about black women are the fastest growing demographic among business owners. Tell me as a business owner, I'll start with you specifically, Kelly, as a business owner. I know your journey. I remember when you started your business there. Have there been any specific challenges that you think you face as a woman and more particularly as a black woman in starting your business?
So I think when I started my business, probably the biggest challenge that I face, that I hear from a lot of businesses that I insure of young black women, is fear. There's a lot of fear around, can I do this? Will I have the funding to do this? Will my community support me? Will I be successful? And so I always think that when you're starting a business, that's probably the biggest hurdle you have to overcome, is the fear factor. Okay. But outside of that, being in the business of insurance and financial services, which is predominantly white male and older male, there definitely was some challenges when I started with customers and finding my footing just in a larger community, not just the African American community. Okay, so there was that challenge as well.
I know you got a good story for us, and tell us one example of a challenge that you had to overcome. I know you probably got many, but try to narrow it down to one.
Yeah. So, one of the things that when I started my business, I just really wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity of being heard and being seen, not just taking people's money and letting them go along their way. One of the things that I've always prided myself on was saying, hey, every year I'm going to offer to meet with my clients, sit down, do a review, and have a conversation with them. And so my team had scheduled an appointment for me. And when I got to the appointment, the person said I was expecting a different Kelly and shut the door in my face. And so that was my real first lesson of having to be resilient, because I hadn't faced that kind of blatant disrespect before. And so while it was hard, I really had to just toughen up and realize that this is going to be part of the challenge. That's more of a reflection of that person versus me,
Right.
and how am I going to continue to push forward.
Okay. Montavia, you're here at P30, and thank you for sponsoring us today. We're all drinking lovely beverages from 2 Cups a Day Cafe, so tell the audience, make sure that you come check out 2 Cups a Day Cafe for all your beverage, coffee needs there. But Montavia, I know you've been here, it's been, what, 2 years now? Kind of a unique situation inside the P30 workspace there. What kind of challenges have you faced in your 2 years in business?
Yeah, even to just give like a quick background, this was honestly just a blessing, and it really fell into my lap. The coder or the director of P30, Tamise Cross, seen an opportunity within P30 to have a coffee shop, and so a few of us kind of came together to basically develop what you see now. And since then, some of the challenges that have come, even just me as a young entrepreneur, just come with like a lot of learning and a lot of like unexpected changes and a lot of like transitions and things of that nature. I definitely agree with you though when it comes to like, okay, are people going to support? Or Lord, like there's fear there. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know if it's going to be successful and things of that nature. But a lot of that is where faith kind of fills in the gap of like, man, I don't know, but I'm just gonna follow your lead. And I feel like that's probably been the biggest like thing that has helped me get past most of the larger challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carrie, I'm gonna swing it over to you there. I know you've been very involved in the education field there. I see you got your blue on supporting Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Amen for that there.
Thank you.
But so you've been an advocate for a lot of women. Are there any particular things that you've seen in the past few years that have changed as far as women, particularly black women in the business world? Or do you still think they face the same challenges that we face from years in past?
Actually, I think we've grown a little
Okay.
for black women when it comes to business.
Okay.
Some people would actually say we've kind of moved ahead of the black man as black women.
Okay.
But you know, just a few steps.
Sure. Well, we'll talk about why do you think that is? Because I wholeheartedly agree. I think black women have moved ahead. But why do you think that is? And is that necessarily a bad or good thing?
It's not a bad or a good thing. I mean, not a bad thing. It is a good thing, not a bad thing at all. What I think has happened is that we have kind of found in ourselves that we can work together and do some things to move us forward.
Okay.
I think
You can call me Monty.
Monty
Yes,
said it best here about P30. Sound like she said a woman allowed her to come in here. And again, we're seeing the value in each other.
Okay.
And that's so important, I have found, as a black woman, probably a little bit older than most here at the table, because we haven't always worked together. And it's a wonderful thing. So it's great to hear, and I'm glad to be sitting here with these two wonderful ladies that have their own business.
Great. When you open up the door to something I want to get into there, you said that a black woman gave you an opportunity, and I think we see that a lot of black women working together now. But you said traditionally that hasn't always been the case there. There's a reputation, there's a stigma. Black women are hard to get along with. They argue, fight there. Have you seen that? Have you overcome that? Or is that just an old stereotype? Anybody's thoughts on that?
Yeah. Personally, for me, like, I've always been friends with like women. Like, I
Okay.
haven't but also that comes with like, as I've learned a lot, I've also been more of like the peacemaker and the one to be like very harmonious and things of that nature. So like I get along with just about anybody, but more often than not, like from my experience and maybe just my personality, I actually gravitate more towards women in that capacity. But there also comes a lot of, like you say, like there could be stereotypes in just drama, or there could be stereotypes in just like as we're growing, we're learning about ourselves, and sometimes that just simply conflict with someone else just in general. So my experience with working with women, one, there has to be grace there in order to understand that other individual, and then also finding that common ground, like what brings us together, where are our passions at, where can we just simply connect to, even if it's not on everything, like at least in this way there's some kind of like connection point. So but yeah, outside of myself, that's usually the stereotype of like, no, I don't like women, it's always drama, it's always X, Y, and Z, and like that's very unfortunate because like we are stronger together just in general.
Amen.
And so I wish it wasn't the case. But
Okay. Who else? Kelly, you got anything to add to that?
So, I mean, I've always had more of a loyal personality. So, like, when you look over, like, the course of my friendships and stuff like that, I mean, there's, like, decades of relationship there. So, it's not ever been something for me where it's, like, constantly changing friendships and things like that. And so, you know, being a woman business owner, women have been my greatest supporter.
Wow.
And then also, you know, on the flip side of that, just knowing my own journey, especially when I'm dealing with Black women, I want them to do well. So if there's resources, especially as people are starting their businesses and things like that, I'm always trying to connect them with those resources, because personally, some of the things that I went through, why would I allow someone else to go through that if I know a resource that can prevent that?
Absolutely.
And whether they choose to use it or not, that is their choice. But I'm there to just, as a woman of faith, as a Christian, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, my job is to just try to help and provide information.
Okay.
And allow that person to be able to use that and use me as a resource if they can.
Okay.
So I haven't had the drama aspect of it, but I also think that, you know, as you mature, as you age and things like that, and our world is changing, women are more friendly towards each other than what past generations have been.
Okay.
And so I haven't had that experience personally, thank God.
So women have supported you. They've been your biggest supporter.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
great to hear. Okay. We're going to come back to that, but we're going to take a break right now. Come and get all of your coffee and pastry needs fulfilled at 2 Cups a Day Cafe. We are a Black-owned coffee shop located on the far east side of Indianapolis, where members of the community can come relax, relate, and rebuild. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. serving hot and cold beverages. Come check out our variety of drinks, pastries, and salads. Whether you're grabbing a cup to go or looking for a great place to hang out, remember 2 Cups a Day Cafe, because there's no other way when it's a 2 cups kind of day. Welcome back to another episode of Black Coffee Talks. I'm your host, Rodney Court. I'm dealing with the ladies here today. First time we got an all-female cast here on Black Coffee Talks. Ladies, we ended that section talking about how you all have gotten along with Black women. You've been supported. They've been very supportive of you. So now I'm going to stir the coffee, though. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. So, you know, strap in. Here we go, everything there. I'm hearing you talk about a lot of Black women have supported each other. You help each other there. But I'm with the brothers. The brothers feeling left out a little bit, everything. Where are the brothers? Because we know that business in America is a white male-dominated thing. White men have dominated business. They've kept out other people of business world. They purposely hindered a lot of times people succeeding that don't look like them. But now it seems like this door is open. There's this influx of Black women coming in there. Where are the brothers? Is that a part of your thing to try and include Black men in your business as well too? Or are you just trying to help the sisters out, sisters help each other? Why can't we have that coming together, Black men and women? And do you see that as a problem? Who wants to jump in those waters first? Anything?
So I'll say this, like, we do a lot of hiring and recruiting in our business, and traditionally we just don't see a lot of Black men who are applying for the position. I always look at the agency role as a stepping stone of getting your foot in the door, being able to get the experience, and then from there hopefully being with an owner that is looking to grow and develop other owners. So we do try to get the word out to try to get them in the door in insurance as an opportunity. I just don't know why we don't see as many of them applying. And it might be because of traditionally when you look online and look for insurance agents to do business with, you're seeing white male. And so I'm not sure if maybe they don't understand what the opportunity is or know where to start.
Okay.
And I can only speak for my industry on that experience.
Okay. Well, anybody else have a thought? Why aren't more Black men getting in this thing?
It's a great question, actually. I don't know. I think I just see more Black women, like personally, or at least in my field, like this is also a predominantly white organization. Like you don't see a lot of Black-owned coffee shops.
Yeah.
And if you do, they're in different states, sporadic. And so like this isn't necessarily, at least my field isn't one where there are a lot of black men necessarily like involved. Now, as far as support, like, will they buy coffee? Will they buy tea? Absolutely. And that's more of the support that I receive from the black men, not saying that they're not willing or anything like that. It's just not as common, I feel.
Okay. Carrie, like you said, you're more of a seasoned person on a panel thing. Have you seen anything there? Why do you think that, black women are coming together, but not more black men in the business world?
I have a husband who actually did his dissertation recently on black males.
Okay.
And got his
You need
PhD.
to get him on the show.
And got his PhD in May. And from some of his research about black males and the in college, because he did it on college students, one of the things that I think that he found was that the support is not there like it may be for black women, to encourage them to kind of do some of the things that black women aren't afraid to kind of put their toe in the water and do. And so I think we need to, as the black women who are kind of doing these businesses, see how we can kind of get out there and pull some of our younger African American men into doing some of these things and not thinking that they are women things to do, because maybe a coffee shop may not be what a black male may think might be important to do. On the conversation before, one of the things I was thinking about the scripture about the body, all of us have a role in making sure that the body works.
Amen.
And so if I'm the hand, then I need to do what the hand's supposed to do. Okay. And when we can figure that out, then we can really work together, because we'll be that body of Christ that he wants us to be. If I'm the eye, just be a good eye. Be the best eye you can be. And so that's what we really need to start to do with each other in working together, whether it's with males or females or young or old or generation, because we talk about that a lot. There's always been generations.
Sure.
There's always been generations working together, but nowadays it's just so important. You Gen X and I'm Gen Z and you Gen Y and you X, Y. I'm like, huh? What is all that? Haven't it always been people of different generations working together? It ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. But there's nothing new under the sun, right?
Okay, so good now. Okay.
Listen. So working together really is the biggest piece to, especially for us as African American people. We got to get that thing better than everybody else.
Okay.
We've got to, because it's too much at stake for our future.
I consider myself somewhat of an expert on black men. I've been one for 57 years, so I know a little bit about them and everything. But yeah, it was a long time. I've been black man for a long time there. But one of the things that I see, kind of just piggybacking off this same thing, is there is a lot of support amongst black women for each other. I get on the internet and I see, boss ladies coming together, networking sessions, brunch and mimosas. Let's talk about, there's all type of social activity, black women coming together. And I think that's good. Hopefully there's business getting done, connections being made through all of that, but there's a lot of activity out there at least, and that's a good thing there. For black men, I don't see that so much, and it's because we have a lot of pride issues. We're very hesitant to be vulnerable and open to somebody there, and I'll be honest with you there are a lot of black men that have a misogynistic view. We kind of sexist, some, not all, but some of them are, and everything there. And so I think we miss out on a lot of opportunities because we don't come together as often and as easily as black women come together too. So we've got to find a way to bridge that gap. But I mean, today it's about black women empowerment on this show, so I want to continue with that vein. I'm going to give you one last little bit that's going to stir it up. I'll tell you a story. I've been in the banking industry for over 30 years there, and I've worked at all levels up to an assistant vice president at one particular time. I had a particular situation where I was scared of a racism issue was going to happen, but it was more of a sexism moment that I signed. I was an assistant manager at a branch up in Fishers, Indiana. This was back in the early 90s, before the influx of a lot of people in Fishers. So Fishers had kind of a reputation that people like me wasn't a whole lot of people out there. But here I am, my boss, who was a white lady, she went on maternity leave, and I got promoted to the branch manager. So now I'm in this position, I'm the face of the branch, and I had a lot of, anticipation, like, I don't know how I'm gonna be received, but I'm doing the best job job I can. And I remember I had a meeting with this business owner, very prominent business owner in the Fishers area, did a lot of business with the bank, and he wanted to talk to me about some loans. And I was really scared because at that time I didn't really know a lot about commercial lending. I was learning. So I was really intimidated. I went into the meeting, and the very first thing he said to me, shook my hand, he said, "I'm glad to meet you." He said, "Man, I'm just so glad we finally got some man in here to do some business there. You know, that woman, she's been on me for a while, but I don't want to do business. I got a man that we can do some business now." And I'm sitting there and I'm shaking his hand, I'm smiling about like, she know 30 times more than I know right now. But I'm gonna talk to you, and then when I get to talk to you, I'm gonna call her and ask her what to do.
Right.
But it just really opened my eyes as far as I was concerned about racism and issues. Sexism is a very, very powerful thing within this country there. You know, now as a black man, I can't belittle racism. I see it and face it every day, but I didn't know sexism was as prevalent as it was in this day and time there. And so I say all that to say, have you guys experienced any, Kelly, you told your story, but have you experienced any blatant sexism where people have purposely tried to just keep you out of things, not try to respect you as a businesswoman, as an equal in the business field? Have you seen or dealt or know of any situations like that?
Yes.
Okay. Please share.
So it's interesting because, like, if you look at like my business cards, even the building, it's got my name on it and everything. If you look on the website, my picture's there. But we had a gentleman call in, and he was wanting to do business with us. And so my husband is in the business with me. I'm extremely blessed to be able to work alongside my husband and to have his support. And he just helps me to be able to keep things level and make sure the business is thriving. Well, when this gentleman called, I answered the phone, but Damon had been helping him. And so I said, "Oh, no worries, I'll get Damon on the line. You guys can go ahead and finish that conversation." And he said, I guess he told Damon, "Your secretary is so nice." And we laugh about it, but that's not uncommon.
Just make that assumption.
It's not uncommon.
So does that discourage you in any type of way? Does that fire you up to do better, or you just deal with it as part of your everyday life? What about you, Montavia?
I haven't necessarily like experienced it as far as with the coffee shop. But as far as like NP30, like this is predominantly black woman ran and owned by Tamise, right? And so seeing how like people come in and they're really shocked by like, oh, wait a minute, there's a front desk staff and she's a woman, and you got Miss Mary who handles the day-to-day operations. You have Miss Fran who does events, and then Tamise, wait a minute, she's the director. So it's like, hold on, like this is, and it's so uncommon, and it's more of a shock when people come in because you don't expect something so beautiful, so extravagant, something that's smoothly ran and all these different things. You don't expect like a black woman, but I don't know. I think we do it pretty doggone well.
All right.
You asking me?
Good job. Carrie, what about you? You had any kind of experience dealing with sexism like that?
I think not sexism. I really have not. I have a different kind of personality.
Okay.
And I'll share that with you. You know, people talk about people addressing you and thinking, you know, you're going to have sex with me and that kind of thing. You know, in the past. Nobody's ever actually approached me in that sense because I really do have a different kind of personality. But I think ageism is growing. Yeah, I think ageism is growing, and I have had experience with that.
Okay.
I think we have to remember people know where they are with what they have the skills to do. We can just look at, you know, deciding that Biden shouldn't run as for president.
Okay.
You know, and certainly he finally got it in himself that he may have been too old. But I think we don't determine people's age and what they have the skill set to do.
Okay. Sure.
And I think that's a growing thing
that
we may not talk about as much because we don't see it, because you can't see it as well as you do seeing sexism when someone's looking at you because of your sex or looking at you because of your race. But ageism is growing.
Very much. Okay. We're going to come back with another episode and we're going to talk about some of those things and some more of the political ramifications of black women. But before we close this episode, I'm going to have the final word, but I want to give each of you a chance. If there was a young woman out there that was scared, hesitant to get into business, but thinks she has a great idea, what would you say? How would you encourage that young woman to get into the business world? I'll start with you, Carrie, then we'll go to Kelly and Montavia.
These two wonderful ladies sitting here, they would certainly love to be your mentor. Find out about them. Contact them and see what they did and how scared they were, because it sounds like they had a few little fears when they got started. But find you a mentor.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say find a mentor. There are so many people. You'll be surprised at how many people actually want to see you succeed, want to invest in you, and just do it. Just do it. Life is too short. You only get one life. Mm-hmm. You know, what's the worst that can happen? That's the way I try to approach everything. What is the worst that can happen? And so just go out there and do it, and someone, I promise, will support you.
I was going to say exactly what both of you said. Definitely find a mentor. I don't want to reiterate. I do think reaching out to those who are also in your field as well, because there's so many people who are just willing to help, willing to give you different resources and opportunities that if you don't act, you never know. And that's something that I'm still learning as well. And my third thing would just be to focus on what really matters to you. Don't get caught up in the ups and downs, because that's going to always be a roller coaster sometimes. And so really focus on and be reminded of why you started in the first place, and what really matters to you.
All right. Ladies, thank you so much for taking your time here. Again, we're going to come back with another segment, but I'm going to have the final drop here in a second. But I want to thank you guys for coming on today. I pray for each and every one of you. Pray that your businesses are successful, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the final drop and my final say on the topic right after this commercial break. Again, this segment is sponsored by 2 Cups a Day Cafe. Our wonderful owner, Miss Montavia Rowley, is the owner of 2 Cups a Day, located right here on the far east side of Indianapolis in the P30 Work Complex. Make sure you come out and support, take care of all your beverage needs. Forget Starbucks, forget Panera. Come to 2 Cups a Day Cafe to get all your coffee every day right here inside the P30 complex. Welcome back to the Black Coffee Talk podcast. We engage in bold, dark, and unsweetened dialogue. Today we had a groundbreaking episode. I had all female panelists. We talked about the importance and the growth of black women entrepreneurs in the world. I am so excited about what I see in this world with the women that are on our panel today, also what I just see in general. I am wholeheartedly in support of black women going out, forging, and doing well in the business world. I think it's far overdue. But I do want to say, the brothers, we need to make sure that we take a look at what the ladies are doing and we get rid of all of our pride and hang-ups. We come together as a people. We need to partner together. Our people are 12% of the population. They say we own about 30% of the wealth in this country. There's no way that we should be lagging behind in the areas that we do, but it's going to take us all coming together, swallowing our pride, being able to relate to one another, being able to look out for the good of our brother and our sister, not just trying to help ourselves. But when we come together, I think that we can make strides in the business world unlike any other. Yeah, we've been saying that for years. It's a long and hard thing to do, but we can do it if we just come together, believe in one another, work together, not pull each other apart, and we can succeed. That's the last drop on this episode of Black Coffee Talks. Make sure you tune in to our YouTube channel. New episodes coming every week beginning in November. Can't wait to see you. Come get involved in this bold, dark, unsweetened dialogue on Black Coffee Talks. This is Black Coffee